Hi there, my name is Michael Gordon Shapiro, and I'm the composer for Down the Rabbit Hole. And I'm here to talk a little bit about the score. So, when I first approached the game, I sat down with the audio director, Alex May of Moon Mode, and we took a survey of the game. Took a little bit of a big picture look and asked ourselves, what's going on here? What's the style of the game? What's the flavor of the gameplay? And what's the mood? And after having this discussion, I reasoned that, well, this is a non-violent game to start with. It's about problem solving and exploration and character relationships. We're looking at Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland mythology, which is one of the most beloved mythologies in our culture. It has a kind of timeless storybook quality. It's almost the canonical Once Upon a Time story. So immediately musically, this suggested use of the orchestra, which is kind of our lingua franca music-wise. It's kind of the one musical language, one set of instruments that seems to work for any era. And when you're trying to evoke a sense of timelessness, it seems to work very well. So when we start the game, we're in a pre-game environment where the anonymous adventure girl is walking through a forest in search of her lost pet. And we're in a dark, misty forest, and it looks a little foreboding. So the music takes on a bit of a foreboding character itself. It's mysterious. It's playing its cards pretty close to the vest stylistically. We know there's something mystical going on, something mysterious, but we're not quite sure what's happening. When the girl begins her fall into Wonderland, she's in this eternal tumble. She's kind of falling head over feet over and over and over, and it's not clear if this fall is going to be of limited duration or perhaps it's going to go on forever. So the music takes on this frenetic quality, this tumbling quality, and in fact the music is modulating by whole step. It's going down the whole tone scale, and what's interesting about the whole tone scale is it's symmetrical and it's eternal. You can descend down it over and over and over again. It's like playing every major second on the piano, and it loops and it cycles itself, which seems like a perfect kind of accompaniment for somebody who's potentially falling forever. We are next introduced to one of the most beloved characters from the Wonderland mythology, the White Rabbit. I think he's a rabbit, maybe he's a hare. And anyway, we love him, and we are in a room full of clocks, an environment with a lot of ticking clocks. And the music here takes on a dance-like quality, but it specifically does so at 60 beats per minute to exactly match the ticking of the clocks and the sound design. Sometimes the music is not falling exactly on the beat of every tick of the clock, but it will always be in a kind of synchronicity with it, which is something that Alex and I set up so that the music and sound design feel like they're cut from the same cloth. Our next world is what's called the Glade Estate, not because it's an estate made of glades, but because it's two regions kind of abutted into one. In this area, the girl is sneaking through a private residence where she's not supposed to be. So the music here assumes a kind of conspiratorial tiptoe-like quality. It's a little sneaky. It's telling us, okay, you're not supposed to be here, so if you're going to get something done, maybe do it on the down low. Soon we are introduced to another famous character from the Alice in Wonderland mythology, which is the caterpillar. And the caterpillar has always been nebulously exotic and somewhat Mideastern in appearance. He's got a hookah pipe, and he seems wise in a way that suggests exotic cultures. So there isn't a lot of music here, but what we did tries to capture this multicultural environment, this sense of someone being from a faraway land, perhaps someone not from Wonderland who's visiting from afar. He's the wise outsider who's taken up residence in Wonderland. So such music as there is tries to echo that quality of his presence. We soon find ourselves in the mirror world, which is a very distinct level in Wonderland, where everything is ethereal and delicate and kind of otherworldly, and sometimes space is not behaving in the way we would normally expect it to. You're disappearing from one place and going to somewhere else, and sometimes there's a backwards or upside down quality to it. So the musical palette here is very different from the rest of the score. We're hearing piano for the first time. We're hearing these crystalline sounds that are evocative of mirrors or glass or something reflective. There's a lot of backward sounds, a lot of musical sounds that are played in reverse to give an alien quality, a sense of the reversal of time and space. One of my favorite effects is that at one point in the score, chords start entering before they're supposed to. They're almost barging in the music early, which to me also suggests the flow of time going backwards. No Alice adventure would be complete without the Cheshire Cat, another familiar face. This is another level where the music is very impish, very playful, very dance-like. It's fairly busy, and it's meant to reflect the adventures of the girl and her companion, 4½, as they're interacting with this complex, multi-level environment. It's not as reflective of the cat himself. He's more of a maitre d' for this level. He's not as constant a presence. But the level has this kind of noises off quality of people going in and out of doors and disappearing from one place and ending up on different levels of this multi-level striated environment. So the music takes on a bit of a raucous energy from time to try to reflect this playful but perhaps frantic part of the adventure. Soon, we've arrived at the Four Castles, and if the rest of the score sometimes feels a little neo-Baroque, here it takes on a distinctly neoclassical character. To me, the music feels like a little bit of a salute to Beethoven. It's a stern march, reflecting of the cards who are marching around in a very orderly fashion, going about their business, almost quasi-militaristically. So the music here takes on some of that quality. Now, the music here is reflecting the centerpiece of the level, which is the King of Hearts himself. Now, the king himself has been a little intemperate with his diet, to put it politely. He's had a few too many tarts, and he's grown very large. So here we have a visual of the king dominating the level, and the music reflects his character through a prolonged solo for tuba, which, like it or not, has become associated with this kind of ectomorphic comedy that seems appropriate for a very large and temporarily immobile character. Much love for the tuba. It's a very versatile instrument, but it seemed to do the trick here. In the background, the strings and woodwinds are accompanying in a way that feels a little bit stern, a little bit like they're giving an admonition, which has always been part of the Wonderland world, at least during Alice's adventures. She is constantly getting scolded by one person or another. So the music here takes on a rhythmic scolding character as counterpoint to the tuba solo. One more realm worth mentioning is the Queen's birthday, which is towards or perhaps at the end of the game, the tea party for the titular queen. And here, the music is meant to be a little bit regal, as befits a queen, and a little bit pompous and a little bit off-kilter. So the trappings sound like royalty. We've got trumpets and other noble-sounding instruments in a kind of 17th century idiom. But everything's a little bit off balance. Chords aren't quite going where they're supposed to. Things are a little bit odd. And again, what better way to represent the slightly deranged quality of the Queen. I know that Alex, the audio director, characterized it as a kind of deranged mashup of Telemann and Bach and Handel, and that is a compliment I will take. I hope you've enjoyed this whistle-stop tour of the music of Down the Rabbit Hole. It was, as you might be able to tell, a lot of fun for me to score, and I suspect that if you play it, you will have a lot of fun exploring this world. So hope you'll check it out. Thanks a lot.